Eye on South Asia is brought to you by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, together we'll go far.
Hello and welcome to Eye on South Asia. I'm your co-host Bhavna Vanan.
And I'm Sanjeev Pandya.
Every week we'll discuss the latest headlines, news, and happenings with South Asians in North America. Sanjeev, what is our top headline for this week?
A top headline, I think, is the most important one, that U.S. Newspaper, very prominent and well-known newspaper, termed India's Prime Minister Manmohan Singh as a tragic figure.
Wow, that's quite a statement.
Right.
I mean, Time magazine in the past few months has termed him an underachiever.
Right.
There's been a lot of hits from the U.S. media against the Indian Prime Minister.
Right.
So this is the Washington Post, correct?
This is the Washington Post, exactly. The Washington Post came out with this story, and the story actually, it's an article written by, its India Bureau Chief named Simon Denier. Simon Denier is mentioning that in this corrupt government, PM Mr. Manmohan Singh is virtually not doing anything, and he's basically ignoring all these scandals left and right. They're going on, involving all these Indian politicians.
Mm-hmm. And his specific headline is, India's silent prime minister becomes a tragic figure, and he's in danger of going down in history as a failure.
That's right.
These are quite strong words, and these are coming from incidences like the Indian Parliament being adjourned every day as the opposition demands Singh's resignation.
That's right.
And these are, like you said, over allegations of corruption. There's a new coal mining corruption case now.
That is the latest one just come out. It's like almost every week new scandal comes out. India's Prime Minister Manmohan Singh is a 79-year-old man, right? And the architect of India's economic reforms. And he was actually a major force behind India's reapproachment with the United States, and is a respected figure on the world stage. Back in 90s, when he was a finance minister, he played an instrumental role in getting Indian economy really on a fast track, and India achieved a lot during those years. So when he became PM, or let's say when his name was put on as a PM for India, stakes were very high and everybody were very hopeful. But it seems this former finance minister and current prime minister has not done much, in terms of India's growth and the recovering economy, anything like that. But not doing anything while the scandal's going on, that is a major issue.
Right, and in his first term, he seemed to be getting a pretty good name and accolades for the economic growth that was going on and the partnerships that India was having with the U.S. But now that he's in his second term, he's really facing this downward turn of his reputation.
Yep.
Now, the Indian government is demanding an apology by this Washington Post writer.
Well, the opposition party is basically demanding. Well, you're right. Indian government information and broadcasting minister Ms. Ambika Soni is actually demanding an apology from this media, from this newspaper.
Yes.
And while the opposition party in India demanding PM Manmohan Singh's resignation.
Yes, and so we have one figure on this verge of going down in history as a failure, and just his reputation is becoming tarnished more and more by the minute. We have, on the other hand, Sonia Gandhi, who is being named the world's 6th most powerful woman by Forbes magazine. Now, this is very interesting because we have Manmohan Singh, who is being shown as almost a figurehead or almost like a puppet figure, and Sonia Gandhi is the real power behind all of this.
Very influential.
Yes. So he's being blamed for all these corruption scandals. At the same time, she's being elevated as the most powerful woman, and the hits are not being taken.
Something is not making sense, right?
Right. People are not targeting her for some reason. It seems like this man, the very soft-spoken 79-year-old, as you said, is an easy target for whoever is taking these shots?
Well, Sonia Gandhi is the president of Congress Party, right? She, being a president, of course, and she is quite influential, and it is no surprising that Forbes named her as the 6th most powerful woman in the world. But she basically does not have to get involved in the daily politics in India, because she's the president of Congress Party. Manmohan Singh, being a prime minister of India, he oversees all these things, and yes, it's his duty to go after these scandals, find out who the culprits are, and make sure they are punished and put law and order system in the order. Apparently he's not doing anything, and she is not advising him to do anything. So it just it's a kind of a reverse combination that they have. As like you say, that she's going up in the chart, and she's being nominated as one of the most influential person in the world. Besides, Forbes, Times also had nominated her a while back as one of the most influential people in the world. I think top most 100 people.
Right.
But she's always been up there in especially a list of women, the most influential women, right? Forbes names her as a powerful woman,
yes.
But I think we all know that she's quite wealthy also.
Exactly. She's from this very historic and powerful Nehru Gandhi dynasty. And just to show what the rest of the candidates we have on this Forbes most powerful influential women's list, the First Lady, Michelle Obama, she's actually ranked lower than Sonia Gandhi. So that's quite interesting. And number 1 is German Chancellor Angela Merkel, and she's on this list for
that's right.
twice in a row, I believe.
Exactly.
So.
Sonia Gandhi is the longest serving chief in the Congress Party history.
Yes.
Okay. And the country is only 66, 67 years old after getting independent from Britishers.
Right.
So, and she's the longest serving chief. So it's quite interesting.
Yes. And not to mention she is European as well.
Yep.
So, well, that's quite interesting to see this comparison of how their reputations are completely opposite. Now, let's move on to diamond exports in India. How is the economy doing in terms of India's polished diamond exports?
Well, if you remember a few weeks ago, we were just talking about diamonds.
And how popular they are in India.
How popular they are, and everyone's going after diamond. More and more people are purchasing diamonds, and making diamonds their ultimate or final choice over gold. Silver was not in the list, and we talked about how diamond is really becoming a household name now. And here we see diamond exports did 42% in 4 months. Now, diamond market, especially in the Gujarat in India, is quite big in the city of Surat, right? And that's where I think diamonds get exported to Antwerp in Belgium. And now the report comes out that it has dipped 42% in just 4 months.
Wow.
And while a few weeks ago, a month ago or so, we talked about diamonds, getting new name in the jewelry market and becoming very common.
Right, and the prices were going up as well when we had reported about that, and we're not sure exactly how this is affecting the demand in India locally. Right. Because this is talking about exports of India's polished diamonds to around the world.
And just to put in numbers, in 2010-11, India exported 28 billion worth of polished diamonds against the import of 20 billion worth of polished diamonds.
Right. And the reasons for this is the rising diamond inventories and falling prices now as the global economy is in a year-long slump.
True. Exactly.
So this is kind of disappointing when we saw this pattern of diamonds going up, and now we're not sure what the future of diamonds are.
Well, I think holiday season is going to start soon, right? In India as well as in USA, because New Year is coming up in India and the holiday season here. So I'm sure that this,
you think it's going to pick up?
It's going to pick up, and by the end of the year or early next year, we'll see that diamond export has, rise.
The U.S. is very much a market for diamonds during the season, as you just said. So, yeah, well, we could possibly see,
especially the way gold prices are going up every day. I think this should change.
All right, so let's talk about trade on that note for India. So trade between India and the U.S. is being said that it's going to increase by 40% and it's going to cross $100 billion.
And that is a good news.
That is great news.
That is a good news.
And this is ever since the 2009 strategic dialogue, the U.S.-India strategic dialogue that the Obama administration has initiated.
Right.
So their main thing that they have achieved through this is trade between the two countries have gone up 40%, which is tremendous growth.
Exactly. So, and this is done by National Council of Asian Indian Association. The story was done by, the survey was taken by, and the U.S. official actually appreciated the role of the Indian American community in strengthening ties between the two countries. So that is indeed a good news.
Right. And it's interesting to note, when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about Obama administration actually appointing several new people to the administration that are of Indian American origin.
In the fellowship, there are a total of 15 individuals, and out of 15 individuals, 2 of them are Indians. And who are those Indians? We're going to talk about right after the break.
Exactly. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back on Eye on South Asia.
Eye on South Asia is brought to you by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, together we'll go far.